is Thawana, and you are joining our On Purpose podcast. So, welcome. Remember to like, to share, to leave a comment, and subscribe so that you never ever miss a segment. Again, I'm Thawana, and this is On Purpose. Okay, so our segment tonight will be about when to match energy and when to starve it. Okay? When to match energy and when to starve it. If you don't know how to kind of toggle between the two when the time is appropriate or necessary, you can struggle in your communication. You can struggle in your relationships. You can struggle in being productive. Okay? So we're going to talk about it. We're going to help each other a little tonight because um, I can tend to match and not always starve. And so I'm working on myself, but we're talking together. So this is a safe place and space. Okay? So here we go. The concept of energy in terms, it can mean vibes, it can mean emotions, and it can mean interactions. Okay? Energy can be vibes, emotions, or interactions between individuals, between you and whoever. Okay? So remember that. Tuck that away because we're going to talk about it a little bit more later in this segment. And again, this is about when to match energy and when to starve it. Matching energy, which involves responding to someone's energy level and emotions with a similar level of intensity. Okay? When you match someone's energy, whether they have good energy or bad energy, all right? It means that you match whatever it is that they have going on, all right? It doesn't matter what kind of energy it is. When you match it, that's what you're doing. Either you're going with the negative, toxic energy, or you're going with the I'm so calm, woosa kind of energy, all right? So, matching energy can be a form of empathy and it can help in building rapport and connections with others, all right? It can help you build amazing rapports with people. You just have to make sure that you understand the energy that you're engaging with. All right? Understand the energy and move accordingly. You're going to hear me say move accordingly quite a bit because I want you to really be able to move accordingly. All right? So, if we talk about flipping this, if the energy is aggressive, combative, if the energy is narcissistic in any type of way, all right? Do you want to match that energy or do you want to starve it? What's most productive? What's most productive? What would make you proud later after that interaction with whoever is over? What would make you proud? Okay? It's almost like, what would Jesus do? Well, you have to figure out how you want to interact with people. And you have to figure out what kind of impression you want to leave with people. I'm going to say this and I'm going to get just a little bit ahead of myself. But sometimes when we give a person a different energy, when we don't match their energy, sometimes it will kind of calm them down. Certainly if they're, a little upset or whatever. So remember, sometimes you have the ability to alter that moment in a good way, but you also have the ability to alter that moment in a bad way. And we're going to talk more, okay? So remember, when to match energy and when to starve it. You have to know the difference. When you match energy, I want us to sit and explore situations and scenarios that we found ourselves in. Think about some. I got some in the back of my head, I know. Think about some situations that you found yourself in and how you responded. Are you proud of them? Do you wish you had said more? Do you wish you had said less? Do you wish you had walked away? Do you wish you had just spoke up for yourself? All right? Think about those moments. Okay, was it beneficial or appropriate to match that person's energy in that moment? Was it beneficial? See, in my 50s, because some of you know exactly how old I am, some of you do not, but I will gladly say I'm in the 50 club, and I just am not a fan of having unproductive conversation. It's just this thing I have about wasting my breath. Some people you engage with, you're going to waste your breath. You're going to waste your breath. And you know what? With life, you're never getting it back. There ain't no, oh, I burned up 30 minutes of breath talking to somebody and it went nowhere. Okay, can I get that back tomorrow? That's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. Okay? So put your energy where it is productive. All right? Put it where it's productive. Learn when you are in a situation where you can have productive conflict resolution. You will have conflicts, it will happen. You will be the reason for them sometimes. And sometimes it will be something that just fell in your lap, you just walked into. Okay? Learn how to have productive conflict resolution. Be one of those people, the peacemaker. If you can, sometimes you won't be able to. And if you know you can't, based on the person or the situation that you find yourself in, forget being a peacemaker and walk away. Walk away. Okay? I mean it, walk away. Build relationships that are productive. Focus your energy and time, good energy, on relationships that are productive, that you want to build, that you want to see grow. Okay? You want to see them grow. That's where you put your energy. That's I'm telling you. If there is a cheat sheet to this segment, it is that. Put your energy where something is going to grow and flourish. If it's not, then just don't stop there. Don't stop there. Pick up the stop sign and keep moving. Okay? Keep moving. All right. In those moments, you can show support and understanding. If that person allows you to, you can show support and understanding when it comes to matching their energy. If it's good energy, all right? But if it's negative energy, you don't want to make that person feel like you are supporting their negative energy, their toxic behavior. You don't want to do that because what you're doing is you're co signing on the way that they manage conversations, the way that they manage interactions, and in fact, the way they manage you. Because when you give up that kind of power, they are managing you. When you give up the power and the ability to manage your own emotions and what comes into your space and who you interact with, you are giving up so much power. And I'm going to tell you, there's no worse feeling than walking away from a moment and you feel like, oh my goodness, these people just took me up and through there. Like, literally. Like, I don't even know how I got there. I don't even know. I don't remember the car we drove in. That's just a figure of speech, okay? It happened so fast, okay? Things will not go well. All right, so let's move on. When to match energy. I want you to think about situations and scenarios where it's been beneficial and appropriate to match someone's energy, such as conflict resolution, building relationships, showing support and understanding. We just talked about that. I want to hit that again. Make sure you think about those good scenarios. Make sure you are still aware of those that were not so good so you don't repeat that cycle. Okay, so you don't repeat that cycle. The importance of emotional intelligence in determining when to match energy. You must be aware of your own emotion. You must be aware of where you are in the moment. Okay? Where you are. We know ourselves better than anyone else, and we know when things are not so right with us. We know when we're dealing with certain things. It doesn't matter if we share them with people or if they're internal. We know if maybe health wise we're not feeling our best. Listen, you have to be aware of where you are so that you can know how to navigate your interaction with people. If you know you're not strong enough in that moment, if you know you got so much going on that your ability to have any type of understanding or your ability to be patient to hear them out, if you know you are not in a good place when it comes to your mental well being, you cannot stand in that moment. You can't. You can't stand in that moment. It's not good for you. It won't be good for them. And most of all, the communication will not be productive. And if communication is not productive, why are you having it? Why are you having it? If you know who you're talking to and not just an individual, but if you know you are trying to explain something to people that really are not listening to you, they're not engaged. It's like when you stand to speak and you're speaking and no one's really paying attention to you. Like it's like these conferences. I love to go to them, but sometimes I think it's a hit or a miss when people have schedules set up where there's a speaker during breakfast or lunch or brunch or something like that. And I feel so bad for whoever that is presenting because people are eating, not paying attention. People are talking, not paying attention. And you kind of feel like why am I even up here? Okay? So just remember when you are engaging with someone and nothing the needle's not moving, walk away. Walk away if it's physically, if it's emotionally walking away, if it's mentally walking away, if it's spiritually walking away, but walk away. Walk away. There's so much more in life that you can be doing with your breath, your time, your energy, your emotions. Okay? Don't invest where something's not going to grow. All right? Do we water flowers that are dead? No, you don't. Like, I love plants, okay? I love plants. And recently, got a piece of a plant from someone and went to pot it. And oh my gosh, every one of them died. Every one of them died. The ones that turned brown, I immediately picked them up and took them away because if you love plants and you love gardening, we're always taught that dead flowers or dead parts of a flower will stunt and stop the growth of what is trying to grow. So I never forget thinking these flowers were a wash, and I was just like every day picking out a dead one and throwing it away. And then one day there was the stem, seemed pretty healthy, but had brown leaves on it. So I was just like, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to take off the brown leaves. I'm going to leave it there. Lo and behold, I look up like a week later, and all these new pieces are growing on this flower. Okay. But I only did that, and I'm saying this so you can understand where I'm coming from. I only did that because I could still see that the stem was green and vibrant, and it wasn't brown. It wasn't withering away. All right? So I invested my time in where I saw that there was something growing. If you are investing your time and energy into something, conversations, people, situations that are not growing, it's you're wasting your time. It's so much more you can be doing. Okay? So remember that. All right. So let's move on. Once you know where you are emotionally, you need to effectively gauge when to match someone's energy and when to approach the situation differently. Once you know where you are, that's when you're going to gauge when to match or when to approach the situation differently. You got to know. No one's going to tell you. You may be in a situation where no one's around. This can be an email, this can be a text, it can be anything. It can be a phone call, all right? But you have to know how to approach that situation based on where you are. Based on where you are, not where that other person is, wherever you are. Because at the end of the day, what I want you to take away from this is you must advocate for yourself. No one else will, but you must. And you must make it a priority. Because again, you can have certain interactions with certain people where you will look up and wonder what in the world just happened. Okay? And that can be a difficult moment because it makes you feel like, wow, I just wasted my time. They just took advantage of a moment, a situation, a circumstance, a problem. Okay? Watch out for those people that see problems and they have no solutions, but they just want to go on and on and on and on and on about them. Okay? Be problem solving when it comes to your interactions and the people you're interacting with. Make sure that if there is a problem, hash it out, talk about it, but is there a solution? Sometimes there will be, sometimes there won't be. But you have to figure out when to walk away. And you walk away when? When it's not productive. When it's not productive. Okay? So type in the comments, I am walking away when it's no longer productive. Whatever that is. Again, phone call, text, um, in-person interaction, email, whatever it is. Okay? Learn to walk away. So now we're going to talk about starving energy. Okay? Starving energy involves not engaging or reciprocating with negative or toxic energy. I'm going to say that again. Starving energy means not engaging or reciprocating with negative or toxic energy. That's starving it. You're toxic, your energy is negative, and I'm not going to engage. Again, it can be a phone call, it can be a text, it can be an email, it can be in person. If it's in person, be strong enough to say, this is going nowhere. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I'm going to walk away. Be strong enough to say, I'm not engaging. If it's an email, respond. I'm not engaging. Okay? If you wish to talk about this at another time, maybe we can, but make no promises to people. Make no promises to people because remember, okay, remember who you're dealing with. And if you make a promise to someone that has bad communication, bad interaction, toxic, negative, what you're saying to them is, I know you're toxic and negative right now, and I don't want to talk to you now, but let's talk about it later. Newsflash, they're going to be the same negative, toxic person whenever later comes. And if you tell them later, those kind of people, oh, they coming back for the later. They're coming back for the later. So listen, don't do that to yourself. Don't set up a part two, girl, sir. Don't set up a part two. Remember, if you know who you're dealing with, the behavior is probably not going to be the same. I mean, it's going to be the same. Just the time and the place will change, but the behavior won't change. So don't set up an appointment for another tongue lashing. Don't do that. Okay? Type it in there. Don't do that. All right. Starving energy can be a form of setting boundaries, protecting one's own peace, and refusing to be drawn into negativity. Here I go again, telling you to put up your own boundaries and guardrails. Nobody's going to do that for you. And if you are not a very bold person, if you are not an intentional person, you're going to struggle with that. But what would you like? Tell me. What would you like? Would you like to always be ran over by a Mack truck in a conversation? Or would you like to set up some boundaries and teach people how to treat you? You have to teach people how to treat you. And if you tolerate their negative and toxic behavior and you don't say to them, I don't like this, I'm done engaging like this, all you're doing is making them feel like their behavior is okay. Probably somebody else will check them and they won't ever do that with them again. But they're going to keep coming back to you until you start to speak up for yourself. Okay? So, you must set boundaries. You must have guardrails. All right? If you want to be able to direct what attention a conversation goes into, you must create some guardrails. I love to talk about when little kids go bowling. As adults, we bowl. We don't need those little bumpers. Some of us don't. I know some people that do, but some of us don't. All right? But when we take the little kids to bowl, they put up those bumpers. So those babies will stand some kind of chance of that ball going down that alley and hitting a pin. All right? That's what you got to do for your life. You got to put up those guardrails, those bumpers, those boundaries. Don't be afraid. Do it for you. All right? Setting up a situation where you starve energy, such as dealing with toxic individuals, diffusing conflict, or maintaining your well being. The one I want to talk about the most is maintaining your well being. You must maintain your well being. And if someone doesn't make you well as a human being, then you must not find yourself in constant communication with them. It may be somebody on your job that you really can't avoid, okay? Because you really can't say, you know what, I ain't talking to you no more. You got to work with them. So you're going to have to grit your teeth and do what? Set some boundaries. Put up some guardrails. If it's family, we're stuck with them. We don't get to divorce them, okay? But we can teach them how to treat us. And if they don't know how to treat us, then we can love them from afar, all right? But you deserve to be well. And after so many hits from people, whether family, friends, coworkers, after so many hits from people, it wears on you. It beats you down. It makes you feel defeated. It makes you feel like you are the one with the problem, like you can't communicate. Like, why does this keep happening to me? It keeps happening to you because they found someone that they can place their misplaced anger on by way of communication. So ask yourself, have I done a good job of teaching people how to treat me? Have I done a good job? Okay, balancing, matching, and starving energy. The importance of it is finding the balance between matching and starving energy, depending on the situation and the individual circumstances. Be mindful and intentional in deciding how to respond to different energy levels. Be mindful. Be mindful. Know how to respond. Know which one to give your energy to. Some people are worth a good disagreement because it just means you're human, I'm human, you have an opinion, I have an opinion, and you love the person, and okay, those people are worth your time because you know when you disagree, you're just going to be like, okay, that was that, we're good, okay? I love hearing stories about long relationships because long relationships that have solid friends, they can check each other. They can check each other and they'll call you 15 minutes later and check on you. Okay? So remember that. Know the different energy levels. All right? So I want you to think about real life situations, circumstances that you found yourself in. Think back. Did it end up being productive or did it go all the way right or all the way left? Do you have regrets about what you could have said, should have said, but more than anything, did you stand up for yourself? Did you stand up for yourself? It makes me extremely sad when I see people that have not gotten the legs enough to stand up for themselves and others just kind of run over them. Okay? Think about some situations. I know I got some. I got some, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest, that I'm not so proud of. I also have some that I'm very proud of. You know why? The ones that I'm very proud of, I learned from the ones that I wasn't proud of. Because when you allow people to drag you mentally, emotionally, okay, then you learn. I don't like the way that made me feel, and I'm never going to give anybody that amount of power over me ever again. Okay? So, I'm going to conclude by saying the most important part is being aware of your emotional awareness. Be aware of your emotional wellness when you are engaging with difficult people. All right? We focus a lot on them being difficult, but also thrive off of those interactions that are worth you matching because the energy is good, it's positive, it's encouraging, it's motivating. So, as much as you have to starve the bad energy, match the good energy, okay? This was amazing. I will share with you, there will be a part two to this. I'm going to bring on my amazing twin sister, Shawana, and we're going to kind of bounce this thing off of us, each one of us. We have very different perspectives. I tend to match energy. Shawana tends to starve it, but we kind of go back and forth a little. It just depends on the person and the situation. So I'm excited about bringing her on so we can chat about those perspectives. So again, I am Thawana. This is On Purpose. Join us every Thursday at 7 right here on this YouTube channel. And remember, whatever you do, do it on purpose.